Hello everyone, myself Gautam Kumar, Assistant Professor MMCTBM, MM to University. My subject is System Analysis and Design, subject code BC204. Today we are going to discuss about the structuring list and decision table, which are the tools used for the structural analysis. And during the lecture we will cover the structuring list, decision table, pros and cons of each tools which we have studied during the structural analysis, and guidelines for selecting appropriate tool. Structured English, it is another tool used for the structure analysis. So, it is borrowed from the structural or structured programming. It uses logical constructions and imperative sentences designed to carry out instructions for action. Decisions are made through if, then, else and so statements. We have some conditions. If these are true, then we move to the another action or another conditions, and if these are not true, what we have to do, and so statements. This is simply will provide the conditional evaluation of any problem. So, we will discuss about the structured English in detail, and as we have discussed the problem or statement about the publishers discount policy, that bookstore get a trade discount of 20% from orders from libraries and individual is 5% allowed on orders. This is the same example or same problem statement for us, like 5% allowed on the orders of 6 to 19 copies per book title, 10% on orders from 20 to 49 orders or copies per book title, 50% on orders of 50 copies or more per book title. That is the same problem which we have discussed for the decision tree, and now we are going to create the structuring list for the same problem. We can actually make the structuring list more compact by using term defined in the data dictionary. In data dictionary, we have the descriptions and abbreviation of the data elements in the system. We have hierarchical structure like data element, after that data structure and data stores and data flows. And on the basis of that data dictionary, we can create the structuring list that is more concise and more effective. For example, the process order may have the data elements like order size, which defines our values like minimum if 5 or fewer copies per book title, small 6 to 19 copies, medium 20 to 49 copies, and large if it is 50 or more than 50 copies. That is another thing. Now, we will move to the structuring list for the publishers discount policy, in which we have two type of customer, the bookstore, individual or library, and we have different criteria, different policy criteria. On the basis of the fulfillment of these conditions, we will apply the discount for library or individual or the bookstore. So, that is the structuring list on the screen, and we have some if and if, then, else, so statements. Now, let us discuss how we are creating a structuring list for the problem. I think problem is clear to all of you. We have to apply discount for the publishers discount policy. We have two type of customer. The first one is bookstore, the second one is individual or libraries, and we have several criteria or conditions on the basis of number of books ordered, and then we will apply the discount. So, that is the structuring list for compute the discount. And first of all, we are adding the number of copies per book title, and now we will move to the step by step or statement by statement. So, the structure English to understand the problem. So, after adding the number of copies per book title for the order, if order is from bookstore, now we are going to check about the type of customer. So, first of all, we are checking it is bookstore. If it is bookstore, and if what additionally should be there, order is 6 copies or more per book title, then discount is 25%. Structure English is just a English language like representation of problem having if, else, then and so statements. So, first of all, we add the number of books in order, then we will check type of customer. If it is from bookstore, and if order is 6 copies or more per book title, then discount is 25%. If the order is not 6 copies or more than that, that will be the else statement. It means if the order of copies is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, order is fewer than 6 copies per book title, so no discount is allowed. So, the first 5 lines, if order is from bookstore to so no discount is allowed, having the structure English for the bookstore as per the publisher discount policy. Now, else order is from librarian or libraries or individual customers. So, if order is 50 copies or more per book title, discount is 15%. If the customer type is library or individual and order is 40 copies and more than that per book title, discount will be 15%. Else if order size is from 20 to 49 copies per book title, then discount is 10%. Else if order is for 6 to 19 copies per book title, discount will be 5%. Same, else order is less than 6 copies per book order, so no discount is allowed. So, as the publisher's discount policy in that statement in the example which we have covered through the decision tree, and now we are going to create a structure English on the basis of that publisher's discount policy that is easily understandable by that structure English, that is English language like statements, but it have some condition if, else, if, then, so. We have statements what will be the actions on the basis of that conditions fulfillment, and that is similar to the structural programming, or we have the structure English for the same, the problem related to the or the statement related to the publisher discount policy, and that is very easily understandable how things are going on, because decision tree is a pictorial representation and that is not clearly telling the logics behind the execution of that discount policy for customer type based on the bookstore or individual or libraries. In this example, what we have observed, when logic is written out in English sentences using capitalization and multi-level indentation, it is structural English. what we have? We have multiple line and we have multi-level indentation. Like if after that we have indentation here, after that we have multi-level indentation. So, that is the structural English. The logic of processes of the system is expressed by using the capitalized keywords like if, then, else and so. These are showing the process. If that is true, then that will happen. If that will else, it is not true, we will move to the else part, and so is the result. If, then, else and so. Structures are indented to reflect the logical hierarchy. Sentences should also be clear, concise and precise in wording and meaning. That is all about the structured English, how we can create structured English, that is a structure sentences like multi-level independent and multiple sentences are there, followed by some keywords like if, else, then and so, which will show the processes logically going on in the system. Now, another structure analysis tool is decision table. A major drawback of a decision tree is the lack of information in its format to tell us what other combination of condition to test. But the decision tree is very useful in this situation when we have to test the other combination of conditions. So, a decision table is a table of contingencies for defining a problem and the action to be taken. Decision table will give you the problem which have some conditions and the actions based on these conditions to be which are going to be taken for the solution of the problem can be easily understandable by the decision table. It is a single representation of the relationship between conditions and actions. It consists of two parts, stub and entry. And what is a stub? The stub part is divided into an upper quadrant called the condition stub and the lower quadrant called the action stub. And same, the entry part is also divided into two quadrants, that is upper quadrant and the lower quadrant. The upper quadrant is called the condition entry and the lower quadrant called the action entry. Again we have the same example, same publisher discount policy, and there is no need to repeat it again, that is on your screen. Now, we will create a decision table based on that publisher discount policy. So, that is the decision table for the discount policy, and you can easily see here there are 4 quadrant, that is the condition stub having the conditions, and that is the action stub having the actions, same, that is the condition entry and the action entry, that is the stub part that is divided into 2, condition stub and action stub, that is the entry part that have the condition entry as the lower quadrant and action entry as a condition entry as a upper quadrant and action entry is a lower quadrant. So, same we have conditions, if it and conditions, in condition stub we have then what we have to do, if these conditions are there then what we have to do, these are in action stub. So, condition stub is having conditions like customer is bookstore, order size is 6 copies or more, okay. Customer librarian or individual, customer type is librarian or individual, order size is 50 copies or more, order size is 20 to 49, order size 6 and 19. What we are now observing here, we have no entry here for the order less than 6. We have no entry here for the less than 6. Now, then action, allow 25 discount, 25% discount, allow 15% discount, allow 10% discount, allow 5% discount and no discount allowed. There are discounts based on the conditions. So, these are the conditions in the condition step, and these are the action in the action step. Now, move to the condition entry and action entry. So, we move to the row by row. If customer is bookstore, the first condition entry is yes, that is a bookstore, and order size 6 copies or more. It means the customer is bookstore having order size 6 or more copies. Then in action entry, what we have checked as right here, allow 25 discount as per the discount policy. If customer is bookstore and ordering 6 or more copies, allow the 25% discount. To the next combination of conditions for the same, customers is bookstore, yes, and order size is 6 copies or more, no. It means if customer is bookstore and having order size 6 or more, it means we are having no here, it means less than 6, then no discount is allowed. Same as we have the statement in the publisher's discount policy. If bookstore is ordering less than 6, there is no discount. Now, move to the another combination, like customer is, because no any other combination is there for the customer bookstore. So, in 3, 4, 5 and 6 column we have no, no and no, because we have completed all the combination and of the condition and action for the customer bookstore. Now, move to the customer librarian or individual. So, first of all we move here, yes, the customer is librarian and order size is 50 copies or more. Yes, it means if the customer is librarian or individual and order size is 50 copies and more, what we have to do? We have to apply the discount 15%. We have checked here in the action entry what we have to take action if these condition entries are true. Now, move to the another combination, customer librarian or individual, yes, order size 50 copies or more, no, check to the another condition, order size 20 to 49 copies, yes. Now, we have a combination, the customer is librarian or individual and order size is 20 to 49 copies. If it is true, now the allowed discount will be 10%. Same again, move to the next combination of conditions, like customer is librarian, yes, order size 50 copies or more, no, order size 20 or 49 copies, no, order size 6 to 19 copies, yes. Then allow the 5% discount. We have here check right mark, in the action entry. Same. Now, move to the sixth combination, because we have covered all the entries for the bookstore, that is no order size is 6 copies or more, no. Now, what we have? We have the customer type librarian or individual, yes, the customer size is librarian or individual, size is 50 or more, no, size is 20 to 49, no, size is order size is 6 to 19 copies, no. It means if customer type is librarian or individual and it has no order 50, more than 50, order size 20 to 49 or order size 5 to 19, these three conditions are negative, not true. It means for the customer size librarian or individual less than 6 copies, what we have to do? We are not going to allow any discount. So, that is the decision table for the publisher discount policy, and through it we can easily show, as the decision table is not able to show that another combination of the conditions. By the decision table we can have the another combination of the conditions that we have to check, and that is giving an complete overview of the conditions, action, the combination of condition which we have to check. On the basis of this combination of condition, what action we have to perform. So, there are 4 part of a decision, basically there are 2 part of decision table, that is stub and entry, and that stub is divided into 2 parts, condition stub, action stub, and entry part is also divided into 2 parts, the condition stub, condition entry and action entry. Let us discuss what are the elements in decision tree and where they are have the located and what is the definition. So, basically there are 4 elements in the decision table, that is the condition stub, action stub, condition entry and action entry, as we have seen it in the previous slide, and their definitions are summarized in the given table below. Just go through that table. Element is condition stub and it is located upper left quadrant. Condition stub, that is the upper left quadrant. Action stub, that is lower left quadrant. Action stub is there, that is lower left. Same condition entry, that is upper right quadrant, and action entry lower right quadrant. So, what is the definition of that condition stub? It is a sets forth in question from the condition that may exist. So, it is having the conditions that may exist. Same for the action stub, we have the outline in narrative form, the action to be taken to meet each conditions, and for the for the entry, condition entry, it will provide the answer to the questions asked in the condition stub quadrant. On the basis of these conditions which are in condition stub, we have some combination, and it will provide the answer of these conditions which are in condition stub. And action entry indicates the appropriate action resulting from the answer to the condition in the condition entry quadrant. They are following they are the following rules should be followed in constructing the decision tables. A decision should be given a name in the top left of the table. and what is the top left? That is the top left. In the condition stub, decision should be given a name. A logic of decision table is independent of sequence in which the condition rules are written, but action take place in order as per the event occur. Standard language must be used, and if possible duplication of meaning or terms should be avoided. This is all about the structure analysis and the structure analysis tools like DFT, data dictionary, decision tree, structure English and decision table. Now, discuss the pros and cons of each tools used in the structure analysis through these slides. So, pros and cons of each tools. The primary strength of the DFT is its ability to represent the data flows. It may be used at the high, 0 and 1 low level of analysis and provide the good system documentation. However, the tool only weakly shows input and output detail. The user often finds it confusing initially. So, where DFT is a good tool to provide you a good system documentation, it has some limitations. It can be confusing initially because it is weakly shows the input and output of the system. Now, move to the data dictionaries pros and cons. Data dictionary helps the analyst simplify the structure for meeting the data requirement of the system. Which type of data element will be required for creating a database or for the system. It may be used at the high or low levels of the analysis, but it does not provide functional details and it is not acceptable to many non-technical users, because it is not so easy to understand by a common user or a non-technical background person. Pros and cons for the structure English. Structure English is best used when the problem requires sequence of action with decisions. So, it is the English language like sentences which are describing the problem, but decision trees are used to verify logic, and in problems that involves a few complex decisions resulting in a limited number of action. Decision tree and decision tables are best suited for the dealing with complex branching routines such as calculating discounts or sales commissions and on inventory control procedures. So, there are some guidelines for selecting the appropriate tools, or there are some guidelines find which tools should be selected, like use DFT at high or low levels analysis for providing good system documentation. DFT is used for the providing good system documentation, and use data dictionary to simplify the structure for meeting the data requirement of the system. Use structure English if there are many loops and action are complex. Use decision tables when there are a large number of conditions to check and logic is complex, and decision trees when sequencing of conditions is important and if there are few conditions to be tested. Thank you. These are the references for the PPTs. Thanks again.